Cool. Good evening, everybody. We are back for another Misadventure cast, and this week we're doing things a little bit differently because Friday we're now going to be uploading to SoundCloud and possibly more places from there once we figure out the logistics of that. So for those of you who don't know, you can come to our YouTube channel, which is Misadventure Inc. You can watch us live on a Wednesday night. And then you can listen to us on a Friday if you don't want to watch things. So we'll go through it. I am John. I basically run the channel, and this. That's kind of what I do now. So that's me. We have Bob. Say hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
I mean, he's waving.
Oh, God. He's also wearing a capybara shirt,
Again.
which I only just realised.
Yeah, he's worn that a couple of times.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
the
I didn't
second
realise
time.
it was making a reappearance this week.
It might become a feature.
Bob does some Minecraft
really
videos on the
like this t-shirt.
channel, but he's looking at doing other content. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go take a look. Matt, say hello.
Hello.
Matt is our young boy. He's a small boy. Yeah. Plays a lot of Rainbow Six Siege on Twitch. So you got Kuro Ninja on Twitch and find him there. And Nelly, say hello.
Hello!
Nelly is our fourth. She doesn't do very much on the internet, but she plays a lot of
I don't know why she's
Overwatch.
here.
So
I do play a lot of Overwatch. I
that's
pretty much only play Overwatch.
that's her thing. So that's us. We talk about games. We talk about kind of slice of life stuff, news, things that are going on in our lives, hobbies, interests, kind of just like a general thing with more of like a gaming tinge these days. It was gaming focus when we started, but it's more of a tinge now.
Tint.
So
Very much
this
so.
Tinge is a horrible word.
week for the second half, I quite like it. The second half of the show will be setting up for next week, which is our Halloween special. So for listeners, we've been doing this for quite a while. In fact, it's almost a year.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Yeah, I mean,
50%.
the cast has been running for almost a year. And I decided that we're going to do something cool for Halloween. So next week we are doing D&D. We're doing a 2-hour D&D session, and we're setting up half of it today so that we don't have to do it next week. So we'll be doing like character creation and some other bits and pieces, and Bob's going to go over that for the second half. So for the first half, kind of structure in it this week. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Fortnite relaunch. We're going to talk a little bit about Bethesda being twats again. And
That's your favourite subject.
oh, I'm so ready for this. You've no idea. I've been needing this in my life for a while. And excuse me, Austin, I am the fucking tits at Fortnite. I'd love to see you try and make that shot that I made.
What, the lucky one?
223 meter shot with a sniper rifle in a battle royale game. It was beautiful.
It's quite the distance,
I
yeah.
wish I'd been recording it because I had to account for drop off and distance, so travel time. And it's just they stood still to fire at someone else, and it was just enough for me to go up a little bit, to the left a little bit, fire.
Left click.
And it really just went like this. It curved. It curved right over and went down at the top of his head.
That's always a satisfying
And
shot.
it just came up because like one of the objectives I had was like kill somebody over 100 meters away, and I was like, done. And we'll talk. Yeah, so we'll talk about, and then we'll talk because BlizzCon's coming up, and that's going to be very, 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 very interesting. So we'll start with the older news, which is the Fortnite relaunch. So they've been doing seasons for Fortnite for quite a while. They did 10, and then they decided to throw everything into a virtual black hole and then relaunch a game. Which, watching it, was quite impressive because it was the first time I bothered with Fortnite for like a year. And there was a bunch of people sitting in the Discord chat, and I was like, screw it, I'll just go sit in with them and just laugh at the nerds. And then I end up like, one of the nerds. But they gained a lot of respect from me because they shut down their servers for 2 days. There was videos of kids breaking TVs and stuff like that on Twitter because they couldn't play it.
What?
I was like,
That's bad.
if that had been
The
my
worst.
kid, he'd have got fucking knocked out breaking a TV. The fuck,
Break.
man. Also, for the sake of the internet, I'm not having children, so you don't have to worry about that actually happening. So they relaunched it, and they kind of just went, okay, so I mean, it's essentially still the same game, but they shut down their servers for 2 days to do maintenance, which is essentially what happened. It wasn't like some big spectacle. They just had a lot of work they wanted to do. And they launched a new map. They put a new battle pass out, and they kind of tweaked a lot of things, and now it's a shit ton of fun. Or it is when you're playing with the right people. So Austin, he's known as Bappo. And I've been playing with him in the mornings, and we've just been having a lot of fun. So that shot was beautiful. We did a game where we did pistols only and finished second.
Pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
We got caught out on reloads, so they had ARs and they had the firepower that we didn't. So we also did a game, so you can fish at the moment, right? There's fishing rods, so you can just stand and fish, and you can get fish that heal you. And we finished in fourth or something like that. We just sat in the storm, feeding ourselves, keeping our health up. And we finished fifth. So we just went to the arse end of the map, hid away, sat fishing rods, just kind of buffed, just got loads on
Tight
there,
game.
and we just fished. It was a 15-minute game of us just fishing. Fourth.
What?
Sorry. So we were one of the
you're
last
underselling,
4
John.
teams left in that game, and we didn't do a fucking thing. The problem that we had, we weren't prepared enough. We kind of just thought we'd go and have a joke, and we just started, and then we were like, wait a minute, we're surviving, so let's keep doing this. We're going to do it again with a plan where we're going to go in, get some bandages, get the fish, and then just tough it out and storm.
Just fish, yeah.
And just see what happens. I've been having a lot of fun playing it like that. I couldn't play it as Fortnite. We have a win. We have one. Once we get down to kind of final 4, that's when we kind of focus in and kind of become a bit try-hardy. But we've just been having more fun messing about. There's boats that you can boost over land, and we've been doing drive-bys and just kind of having quite a lot of fun pissing about. So it was enough to bring me back in, and kind of really actually play with people and have a look. I think Epic did the right thing in just switching it off for 2 days and just watching people squirm and keeping
What
the
John
world.
means is he enjoyed watching kids get upset.
Fucking right. They should know. I wasn't allowed to do shit like that when I was a kid.
No.
I think anyone was, to be fair.
But they get away with it now. Oh, what a shame you had to do your homework for 2 days. Boo fucking who.
Oh, you had to play other games.
You actually had to buy other games because Fortnite's a free one.
Yeah, it's...
The way you two go with moves, I thought you were going to give each other
Also-
a virtual high five. Because you went across, because you're next to each other. So John went across, and Bob went across, and I was like, it's going to happen.
Wait.
On the
Is he
actual
here?
cast.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I mean,
Tuning that.
It's
On
a
the
shame it doesn't
YouTube
work on the
site.
actual,
no,
Yeah.
because John is below me, I'm on the top right.
So let's
so,
do it this way then. You need to go down.
John's got powers of cropping and movement.
He does, doesn't he?
That's gonna
Smoothie
sound
type.
weird on the audio only. We're fucking
I
around.
think we did a good verbal description of that.
So that was quite fun. I don't know what you guys saw about it, but it was certainly quite interesting to kind of just go, oh shit, they wiped their entire game. Everybody
Yeah,
kept
that
all
is
the
an
stuff they
unusual
bought.
tactic.
You still had all your cosmetics and stuff like that you bought, but in terms of all your stuff, they just reset it all, which is really funny and really cool. And I think that's the way modern games are going to go with terms of stuff like that, especially with season-based stuff and online games.
I don't think anyone's gonna put it at that level.
No.
They're just because Fortnite's big.
I mean, the thing is, people have seen it be done, so somebody will try it themselves.
Yeah.
It'll definitely happen again. Just, I don't know how successful it'll be.
You've got to know that people are going to come back.
I mean, like, what if Siege did it? Where they just shut the game down for 2 days and came back and it was completely redone?
They can afford that.
Matt would be
Yeah.
smashing TV screens all over the place.
I've been playing other Yubi games actually, so I'm fine.
You just go to Ghost Recon instead. Just
Yeah, exactly, dude. I have a huge library of stuff that I can
What?
just play.
What I do find difficult to deal with is when my Steam account just won't sign in for a bit. And I'm like,
Panicking.
I don't go smashing stuff. I just kind of feel hollow and empty.
That's when those other launchers come in handy, right?
Yeah.
I know, right?
With other
Wow.
games on them, like Epic, for instance,
Yeah,
where you've
or
had a ton of free games.
like Conarium.
Eh,
I wonder if Untitled Goose Game is going to go up for free at any point. I would really
quite
like.
possibly.
It's
Not
been
anytime
really
soon.
popular. The
Not
memes
anytime
about
soon.
it.
It's a lot.
Maybe not too. Yeah.
They're not giving away a lot of brand new stuff. I know that much. They haven't recently, anyway. Because it surprised me that we haven't seen like Satisfactory or anything show up.
Well, it isn't. No, that was paid for.
Yeah, paid for it. Same with Hades and stuff like that. But Hades won't show up because it's about to launch on Steam pretty soon.
Yeah,
So-
so they're not going to want to freebie it there. Well, actually, they might not be allowed to because they'd be a pretty disruptive market tactic to do that.
So
Like, oh,
No, it's
the
up to-
platform's
it's up to
going to
the
sell
actual-
our product. Well, let's just put it up for free on ours.
we've
That'd fuck a
been
lot of people off.
kind of hesitant to kind of talk about it because you don't want to say something wrong in this situation. But now there's a specific thing to talk about instead of it just sort of being a general discussion about the whole situation. So everybody knows about the Blizzard thing and them banning the dude and taking his prize money off of him because he said free Hong Kong, right? But it's the aftermath that we're really interested in now because they've done this 3 weeks out from BlizzCon. And honestly, there's already groups of activist gamers and stuff like that have already said we're going to be there protesting them, and they're going in like full Blizzard fan gears and stuff like that to properly kind of blend in with crowds. And I think they're just going to sort
Shit.
of ambush the Q&As and be like, "Yo, what the fuck? What you playing at?" So. What do you guys think Blizzard could do to save themselves in this situation? Because really, they've dug a hole that I don't think they're getting out of anytime soon.
I mean, what they've always done, which is just, oh, something like this happened. Oh yeah, by the way, oh yeah, it's perfectly timed with BlizzCon. It's like people will just forget about it because of all the new shit announced and stuff.
They can hope for that.
I mean, yeah,
But-
they can. I think they've gone too far.
It's moving the like the general, like, oh, let's hop on the bandwagon people
Yeah. They
away
haven't.
from it.
They
because-
shouldn't have done it, but they haven't gone too far. Like they're too big a company with
Do-
too many things that people enjoy
But
to
they
have
keep
gone
making
too
the
far.
same mistakes. So like they
Their
lessened these
stocks have
bans.
also dropped.
They didn't fire the two commentators after all, and they gave him his prize money back. But they still stuck to the principle of like, and I sort of to an extent, I semi agree with the idea of like if you're in a professional capacity like that, where you're in a pro tournament, keep your politics to yourself.
They should have just released a
But
statement.
no, that's
Like-
basically what the intention of that act was.
But they
It was
handled
just
it
to spark
wrong.
something. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
handled
Like.
They should have just went right, slap on the wrist. You need to behave yourself the next time, right? Obviously, we know that you've got, but then this has also started something. So like Apple and the NBA and all that sort of stuff, they're all getting in trouble for the same thing.
They've been doing it for longer. It's just they haven't.
Where they're trying to protect their assets in China because that's where they make money. And plus with not Tencent, NetEase making Diablo Immortal, which Chinese developer, they're obviously going to be protecting that. So they're going to be like, oh yeah, no, he fucked up. So, and this is now happening with multiple companies, big companies, and people are trying to get like Mickey Mouse and shit like that as like a free
bans.
Hong Kong like a Hong Kong thing, so that China will censor Disney. But then somebody came out with do it with Hello Kitty.
Yeah,
Because
That's
Hello
one of
Kitty is fucking massive over there. It's like one of their like biggest exports.
Yeah.
Or imports.
They also they did it with May from Overwatch.
May.
To hurt
I've got a
Blizzard
few that are saved on
specifically.
my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting because, like, you know, it's all forgiven when they announced Diablo 4 and apparently rumors of Overwatch
shouldn't be.
2. Is that what's going to happen? Is internet just going to move on? Are we that fickle now? Because, like, I'd like to hopefully say no, but given the way things have gone, I imagine that it probably will. Oh my god, they've announced Diablo 4 and
Yep.
we've got a release date for Warcraft Reforged, and we've got Overwatch, a new Overwatch game coming.
I mean, like all the events have just been the same. Like, look at the Halloween event. All they changed is the skins, and a lot of people have been complaining, or at least being vocal about how that just isn't enough.
Well, I mean,
'Cause
it's
how long's-
been Junkenstein's Revenge for the last 3 years for Overwatch.
Exactly, yeah. As
No new
same
maps,
goes
no
with
new-
other events as well. They've been largely, if not completely, the same. And while skins are nice and they look pretty good, and in fairness, they actually look pretty good, they're not enough because you're playing the same thing again in a special quote unquote event.
You just get some orange, purple, and green instead of the usual mash of colors.
I don't even use any skins.
Really?
All mine are in classic.
Fair.
Nice.
That's pretty. That's not very common at all.
I own a lot of skins and I still get them. Like, I'm still like, oh, I want that skin. I never put them on.
Not even to try for one game, see if you like it.
I don't bother. I don't know why. I used to. Just a couple of months ago, I just turned them all back to classic, and then was like, okay. And then I don't bother changing it anymore.
I do that with some games as well, where you have the option, and you go, oh, yeah, that's a cool costume, but I'm just gonna play the way it's meant.
But I still get the skins though.
Yeah.
So I still save up my gold so that at events
So
and
you
when
can
new ones
buy
get
them.
released, I can buy them. But
Don't
the
do
ones I
anything
want,
with-
and then I just don't use them. I don't know why. It's very weird. I use like the emotes and the voice lines and like all the other stuff, but
Just not the actual appearance of them.
I don't know why. 'Cause
Great.
I just figured. I think I thought one day I was like, no one actually really notices.
Yeah, no,
Like,
they don't.
unless it's like a brand new skin and you go,
Yeah.
oh, that's a cool skin, and then you go and buy it. No one notices what skin you're using. No one's commented on the fact that I use classic skins.
Yeah, the trip is trying to shoot you. That's the thing.
Yeah, no one minds.
Oh, yeah, it's completely a personal like.
Completely,
Yeah.
arbitrary. But it's still fun to do. And I still like having them, and probably at some point I'll go back to using skins. I think it's because I ended up with so many. For the characters that I play, I pretty much bought all the ones I like. And then every single time I was like, well, I have too many that I like. Well, I might as well put her in classic. But I still boast about having them. People are like, oh, I have this many. I'm like, oh, I have all of them. Because I have way too much gold.
Yeah, no, that's pretty unique. Like a case that I've heard of, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that for me, pulling it back around to, because like that, I think that that whole conversation was a perfect example of what's probably going to happen. As we were talking about that being controversial and in trouble, and then we moved on to skins, and it was like it never happened. I think.
But that's the thing. But in terms of being controversial and negative and everything, they didn't mean to be. Their whole standpoint is they're meant to be neutral. They very much failed to remain neutral.
I think
But
they
no,
did.
but they want like
No, that's
They're
how
not-
they labeled it, but
Yeah.
obviously it was just a white lie.
I
No,
think
no, white lie. It's
I
just
think
going.
they did mean it the way that they wanted it, because they have a lot of money registered in China, and they cannot afford to be like, yo.
but that doesn't mean they're pro.
No, but
That is trying to be neutral,
I mean,
but
it
in
kind
a
of
very
does.
aggressive manner.
it kind of does not. It kind of doesn't make them neutral if they're gonna go.
But
Yeah,
if-
but you
if,
can't say that because we'll lose money.
See,
But say if there was like a massive upheaval and the whole political structure changed, they don't care.
they shouldn't, but
Yeah, but they're not
It
going. Like, if there was
depends.
as long as they're still like, as long as it's consistent, which it
But they
probably
they
like,
essentially
would be
by
to an extent.
association have to be pro-China, because as it stands right now, the people that they work with aren't in Hong Kong, they are in China, and the Chinese government, and by the way, we're not going to get anybody in China ever here and they're seeing us because of what we're talking about, because we are already censored, right? Straight up.
Editing point, very quick. Apparently, you're really quiet.
I've dealt with it.
Oh, okay, cool. That's fine.
I did see it. I've dealt with it quite quietly while you were talking there.
Cool.
So, yeah, they are by association, and there's a lot of iffy things that they are doing behind the scenes. By the way, a lot of iffy shit, and they shouldn't be doing it. You know, they've got CEOs and whatever else, and there's a thing out there. I kind of wish I had it to hand, and I should have probably found it out. But there was a thing out there that had which companies are not going to censor and which might and which will. And it's really interesting to look at that list, because predominant ownership of Epic Games is Tencent, it's a Chinese company, but Tim Sweeney's gone, say what you want, we're not going to stop you. But it's weird, even just the pure mention of it is enough for them to go, well, you're not getting shown in our country. So when it comes to, we have a developer making a game for us in that country, they have then gone, well, we can't protect the gamers, you know, the people that actually keep us in fucking business. So we're just going to censor and bow down to our overlords, because that's where our money is right now. Because Immortal, whether you want to play it or not, is going to bring in a shit ton of money. And that's what it's all about for them right now. It's what it's all about for a lot of companies, because there's very few people out there going, fuck China. Which, by the way, fuck China.
Straight up.
Well, I mean,
I know, if you browse Imager, like every single post, regardless of whether or not it's meant to be related, they've put something along those lines in their like comment section, and I'm like, geez, it's like this was a cute puppy I was just looking at.
South
Political
Park,
puppy.
immediately as soon as it happened, the episode after all this shit came out, like properly hit. One of the scenes was Towley saying to Stan's dad, say fuck China. And he goes, fuck China. And that's it. South Park is now banned in China.
The thing is,
Because they're two
it's
words.
the Chinese government that's really the issue, not the whole of China.
Yeah, but I mean, essentially, like, that's never going to change.
No,
Hong Kong
so.
could free itself, but China's never going to change. Because it's like Russia, man. It's just the way it's always been. It's the way it's all will be.
Hang a sec, actually.
Bye, Matt.
Bye. Because my dad said to me that Russia has and
Speaking,
always will be.
speaking of
a
protests,
dictatorship.
I got myself one of these.
Are you planning on joining them?
Well, I mean, I've got family over there, so
Yeah.
and plus cosplay stuff, and it's cool. Look at it. Look at it. Look how division I could be like that, right? You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to put it on just now and say free Hong Kong? Because I've already said fuck China, so you might as well say free Hong Kong and put us properly in it.
Nah, I can't be bothered, man. It's too late.
Okay, so I think that there will be problems at BlizzCon. I think that they will probably not be handled well. I don't think it will go as far as like rioting or whatever else, but I think it will get pretty close. I think there'll be a lot of tension in the rooms. And
I certainly hope there's no rioting, because that is a step too far on anyone's side.
They have already cancelled the Overwatch Switch launch event in New York because they were obviously worried about backlash at that point. I foresee it continuing to be a problem. And honestly, I think if BlizzCon isn't as big a deal to them every year as it is right now, I think they would have cancelled it. Or delayed it or something. But because everything's already in place, and they're just not going to do it.
As a company, like, they still have to actually protect their staff. And if there's an event happening that they're planning that could end, like, have violence brought to it, they have to actually look at whether or not they should cancel it.
Put it this
Obviously,
way, in
one,
2
doubled
weeks,
out security.
we will not be laughing at someone saying, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke to Diablo Immortal?
No.
I think we'll be pretty interested. The news will be very interesting that week, in terms of what happened. I think we're going to see some game reveals, but I think we're going to see some shit going down at BlizzCon at the same time. So it's going to be a very weird week. So we have about 20 minutes before we need to hand over to Bob. I said BlizzCon, Fortnite, and there was something else, and I've now already forgotten it. So.
Fallout.
Oh yeah.
How did you forget?
Thank you for reminding me about that. So there was two things. One I forget. One is very fresh in my mind right now, which is the fucking pass, the fucking annual shit.
Oh my god, that's
dickheads-
amazing.
These
Definitely so
dickheads.
worth it. I'm gonna buy the game just to get that.
So. Here we go.
Welcome to the John Show, everybody.
What had become basically a weekly occurrence. Actually, Scott, you've come at the right time because this was the bit you were wanting. What was becoming a weekly occurrence back when Fallout 76 launched was us being, look at what they've done now. And I'd like to bring back that segment because they've done it again. Just so I can get the specifics right on it, I'm going to pull it up on my phone. But essentially, they are wanting to charge to be able to play the game offline. So private servers, single player, that sort of thing, are all locked behind a $100 a year paywall, or $12 a month. So, you can pay for this pass where you'll get, and this is beautiful, by the way. So the Fallout Darwin of Fallout New Vegas, there's an armor set that you cannot get unless you buy this pass, and it's from New Vegas. You know the one they're all super precious about, and like New Vegas was the best one. Yeah, they've locked an armor set from that. That makes sense. Oh, that was the other thing. I've just remembered what the second thing was. Delayed the most requested update until next year, which was people, NPCs, that I think people have been waiting for.
You don't think NPCs are that like much of a big deal in games, but when there isn't any NPCs,
When there's none, and everything you do in the game is done through audio logs and text logs. There's no one to talk to in Fallout 76.
There's a
There
big
is
difference.
no one. There's no one in that fucking thing other than other players, and they can't grief you because they won't let you grief beyond a certain point, like before a certain point. So like my prediction of walking out of the vault and getting shot wouldn't happen because they're not allowed to, because you have like a safety net for a certain amount of levels after you leave. It's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely insane to me that that's what they expect. Like what is it? Oh, we've not had a controversy for 6 months, so let's just fucking do something really stupid so that people talk about the game again. What is this?
It's a very, I don't know.
Still,
And why
At this
would you
point,
announce it
can't they
after
even-
delaying the biggest update that the people wanted? Why would you not announce the pass first and then go, oh, by the way, since you're already mad at us, here's the pass.
it's like they just don't understand.
Could they
people.
do anything?
Like, they just
Like-
don't understand anything other than what's in front of their own nose.
The one
They don't
time,
understand their audience.
Austin, the one time I launched Fallout 76 on my PS4, within an hour it crashed it. So I never played it again. Like,
Oh, Matt, you were wanting to say something there.
yeah, sorry, buddy. Matt, apparently you were wanting to
What?
say something?
No,
No? Okay.
You looked like you were about to say something, and I just talked.
no, I
over
was
top of
just laughing.
you. All right, okay.
I'm just
Sorry.
laughing along. I have
I
nothing.
thought we
to
all
say,
froze
though.
for a second. It just all went very, very quiet, and I was like, okay.
You screen capped their high five.
He did. It was
I did.
beautiful.
Okay,
It's
so
actually
let's,
reasonably well lined up.
yeah, let's get
Yeah.
the specifics here. Okay, so Fallout 76 now has a subscription. Bethesda's announced the premium membership is called Fallout First, and and it costs $11.99 per month, or you can get a 12-month subscription for £100.
It's even named obnoxiously though.
Yep, Fallout First and yeah, it is literally like, you know, we want you to prove how much of a fan you are.
What was it called again?
Fallout
Fallout
you even
First.
first.
Fallout First.
You know, you're first.
Yeah. You get all this, right? So here we go. So
You get
Fallout
all-
First
yeah.
includes a raft of features players of the online-only Fallout game have called for since launch, such as private worlds with mod support to come later. Okay? a scrap box for unlimited junk storage, a survival tent that creates a new placeable fast travel point with a stash, a sleeping bag, and more. 1,650 atoms per month to use in the shop, so premium currency is also involved here. The Ranger armor
At least
outfit and
it's
exclusive
something.
icons and emotes. Of note, only the owner of a private world is required to be a Fallout First member. Also of note, that Ranger armor outfit is lifted straight from the beloved Fallout New Vegas. Popping that one behind a paywall surely won't go down well. And it's, I think, obviously, they have a picture in there, so I'm assuming it's that armor.
Oh yeah, the classic. Yeah. Yep.
So, and while Private
Stuff
Worlds...
that's on the front cover.
While a private world will let you invite up to 7 of your friends into the game, it also lets you play solo. So if you want to play the multiplayer-focused Fallout on your own, it'll cost you extra. Fallout 76 is yet to go free to play. The launch of a subscription now is certainly a bold move from Bethesda when you consider it's still on the road to recovery after Fallout 76's disastrous start, and it recently delayed the game's most anticipated expansion to 2020.
So on single player Fallout 76 when there's no NPCs.
Yeah, think that one through.
And you pay to play it.
So one of my biggest complaints...
Pay more to play it, rather.
Yeah.
One of my biggest complaints about Fallout in general is it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on. It's a lot of wandering. There's a lot of there's enemies and stuff like that, but it's a lot of wandering, a lot of aimless one. Now take out all the NPCs that would have normally been in it.
Yeah, because that otherwise it's just walking simulator.
And occasionally getting attacked by a giant scorpion.
Occasionally.
But
I
by
think
the
that's
way,
amazing.
here's the even better thing about this. In 2 days, Obsidian, who made New Vegas, are releasing Outer Worlds. So not only have Bethesda delayed the biggest thing that people wanted for Fallout 76, they've then also just shot themselves in the foot 2 days before Obsidian's next open world RPG drops. Which, by the way, available for free on Game Pass on PC. Day 1.
Nice.
Guess who has 6 months of Game Pass?
So, would you
then
rather
you
pay $4.99 for Game Pass or $12 a month for single player in Fallout 76? Do the math there, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Do the maths, yeah.
I'd rather play Farming Simulator.
I mean, I will have a look at Outer Worlds because I'm not paying for it, and it actually looks all right because you have like a ship and stuff like that. So it seems a bit less. It seems a bit less Fallout and a bit more sort of actual RPG.
It's very different, yeah.
It seems like there's a bit of Borderlands in there from what I'm hearing as well. So I'll have a look at it. I am not buying you Outer Worlds, man. Go buy fucking Game Pass. You got a PC. I think you've got a PC. Go buy Game Pass. You get it for free. You lazy shit. We're so nice to our community. So
We've got 3 people in chat.
I had gotten over my addiction to hearing about this news from Fallout 76 because it had been so long. They hadn't done anything stupid for a while. They'd started to gain back some faith in the community by doing their NPCs and stuff like that, and putting some new modes in and making things a little bit nicer. And then just I saw the news. I saw it and I was just like, yeah.
And you got so happy. Christmas came early for John this week.
I was just like, wasn't the only thing that came. Hey!
Ew.
Sorry.
No one AM. No one AM.
Please, someone, just turn line now.
No.
Please, someone. Anyone.
No.
Anyone, please. No? Right, fuck you. But you're all fired.
That's fine. That frees up my Wednesdays.
It was so good to just be able to go back to that point where I was allowed to hate on a game that I just don't like anyway, and a company that is so shit. And the thing is, id delayed Doom because it wasn't ready.
Yeah, which gutted me a little, but I understood.
But it was worth it. But why again? You should have just released it now. Just Fallout 76, just release it now. That's what you should have done. Waited like fucking years, 6 months. So we've talked about this before. And you could have had all this shit ready to go and not destroyed your reputation of your biggest franchise, destroyed the reputation. Because, I mean, people go on about the Elder Scrolls, but Like Fallout 6 is what Fallout 3 is what made them all the fucking money
Yeah.
in that generation. And now they're like, yeah, Fallout 4 is not going to be quite as good, supposedly, because I think they're equally shit. And Fallout 76 is going to be a horrific botch job from day one. It was designed as a cash cow that didn't become a cash cow, and now because it's not become a cash cow, they're like, subscription?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That sums it up, if I'm honest.
For the few people they've got left.
For the few.
It's
It would be
don't-
funny if we ever see like published statistics of how many people over time are buying anything.
Yeah.
you
like,
never
I
will,
would be
but
great.
you could probably just
No.
guarantee that it would start like here and then just plateau.
Because there probably will be people who do buy it for whatever reason.
Mm.
Not sure what those reasons would be.
Because people cannot. There's just people out there that cannot just not jack off over Bethesda,
but Bethesda.
games.
Yeah.
They can't help
Then
themselves.
again, you'd think they would have got it earlier on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
considering how long it's been.
I mean, I guess like
I
doing
think Bob's
Borderlands,
specifically
you-
talking about the pass.
Yeah, mostly about the past, but like,
I mean, the
It was
people that were
kinda-
going to buy the game have already bought the game. Let's be
Yeah.
real. There's nobody new buying the game.
I'm gonna go buy it to prove him wrong. As if I had that kind of money.
just get the pass.
You thought.
Yeah. I won't get the game, I'll just get the pass.
What's the
Yes.
joke that Phil likes to make? Just go buy a controller and you'll get the game for free. Because that was a thing for a while.
Oh,
where
yeah.
Game
Game did
was-
that kind of thing.
Game in
yeah.
Germany were handing out the game for free with a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yep.
Because they had so many of them that no one bought it. But because
To be fair, flights
I'd
to
also
Germany
have
are
to
not
play
too
via
expensive.
PlayStation.
I think they were doing it with Xbox controllers as well.
Oh, there we go. I've got an Xbox.
Um,
And I need another controller. Well, I'm getting Fallout 76. I'm off to Germany. Anyone want to come?
I really like the beer and the currywurst, so I'm
If
coming.
everyone gives me a shopping list, I'll bring it all back for you. Does anyone else want Fallout 76?
I mean, you're going to be here in January, so you know we can wait.
Yeah.
Any food orders might be a bit moldy by then, but
Oh
The beer.
goodness.
I'll only
Beer
accept
will be fine.
tinned and jarred things. Oh, and bottled.
Just go on just a random adventure just to
Just
Germany.
shopping spree. I don't even like
I've-
shopping, but I'm going to fly to Germany to go shopping for everyone.
Like
I've got a
last
friend I can go stay with.
about this thing last year, my wife and I went to Germany with a couple of friends just to eat currywurst. We went for a long weekend in Berlin and we just ate food and wandered around, went
I
to some
love that.
museums.
Great.
That is
Just
my
because I-
kind of holiday.
Yeah, just me and one of my friends, Claudia, we were just talking about the fact that we love currywurst, and we're like, I kind of just want to like hop on
Should
a
we
plane.
just go?
So
Amazing.
her and her boyfriend were like, "Yeah, let's do this," and I'm like, "Steph, do you want to go to Berlin again?" And
That's
we just
amazing.
put it all together.
Just
And
went.
a month later, we were like, "Yeah, let's just go to Berlin, currywurst, drink beer, see some sights. It's good."
I've never done that. I've never taken a holiday just to eat. I've had holidays where all I've done is eat.
that's
And that
pretty
wasn't the
much
Yeah.
plan. Like,
when I go on holiday, even if it is just down to like London. That's pretty much what I go for is to eat. Like
to be
When
fair,
we-
What are you
went to
eating that's so
Camden.
special in London, though?
Camden, man, Camden Market.
Oh, Camden
Oh,
Markets. Yeah,
yes.
okay. Yeah.
to be fair, I went on
You
holiday
can
to
you can
Turkey.
go to Camden Market
Camden
3 days in a
Markets.
row and still not have eaten everything that's there.
True.
Like
Yeah.
you know, and I've been twice in my life, and obviously there was a fire between them. So, hello Richard. No, I did not eat a market
Ate a market.
because it changed. So like when we went,
That's a
No,
lot
we
of
didn't eat the
eating.
whole thing because it changed, so
There
we
was-
only ate part of it.
yeah, they'd opened up like the little food bits with the little huts that had like
Yeah,
that wasn't there when I went when I was younger. So because
You're not
that's where the
spoon-ding.
fire was, I think. So
The fact that Camden Markets is so far away from the airport.
but
Oh my
it's
God.
also only like a 20-minute walk from like fucking
center.
King's Cross or something like that. I think we walked.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It was King's Cross we walked from.
because we couldn't be asked trying to find a bus or the tube station, so we just walked up from King's Cross, and it took 20 minutes. It's
Fair.
not that hard. It's not that distant.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm just looking at the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really close.
We
Huh.
did a lot of walking in London. Mind you, that's down to what, like
That's
any
because we
hol-
just couldn't be arsed paying for the tube.
Yeah.
I love a tube.
So I'll be at London Victoria.
Oh.
Shouldn't be too
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
Victoria Coach Station.
If you wanted to go up that, you wouldn't be that bad.
No, I wouldn't.
Anyway, so we're into the second half now. Bob, take it away.
Yeah. So I'm going to say one last thing on London. I hate
Yay.
the underground at rush hour.
Oh yeah, well so does everyone. Though, I think it's really funny because there's like a train every 3 minutes or like 2 minutes on all of them, and there's people like running because they want to get the earlier 2-minute train, and I'm just like, I just feel like you don't have to rush.
The last
like,
time.
I don't like being at work longer than I have to, but even I'm a bit like, I could probably wait like 10 minutes to get on.
Yeah,
the tube. Like,
this is the thing that kind of got me was there seems to have been this unspoken rule that you keep to the right hand side when going down an escalator.
The amount of
So
people that
running
swore at me when we were getting on tubes.
yeah,
I
well,
know.
you've got to. You've got to stay to the side so the people who want to go faster than you
Fuck
can walk
off! Stop
past.
being so desperate to be a dickhead.
No.
I
No.
nearly got jumped down the escalators.
I fucking wish living in Edinburgh during the festival that I could get away with that shit. So what makes London any different with our special fucking train stations? I couldn't call somebody a cunt on the street because, like, they're being stupid and taking photos in places where they shouldn't be, and they're in my way trying to get to work. So I'm not in the wrong here. People are assholes in London when
This
they're
is
trying to get a
London.
fucking
This is
train.
Oh
London.
yeah, no, I'm not denying that people are assholes in London, but it is common courtesy to stand on the right hand side of a goddamn escalator.
See, I kind of figured out when, like, I noticed everybody else standing to the right hand side, so I stood into the right hand side. But even though I was tucked in as far as I could be, this guy still just about took me down the escalator, trying to get past me. I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck hell!" And I was the one that got sworn at, and I'm like, "I'm trying to fucking stay out of the way."
People are knobs, but you got to stand to the side. And then it's very annoying when everyone's standing to the side, but then the person going down the left hand side is doing it very slowly. Like, no. If you're not committed, if you're committing
Do you know
to
what?
moving,
See, at that
you got to
point,
move.
You can't win.
Yeah.
So just don't play. That's why we started walking.
I stand.
If it was a
So-
distance
'cause
that
I
would
don't
take
go
us
down
longer
quick.
than 20 minutes to walk, I think we got the tube. But generally,
Yeah.
we just stayed off
And
because it
walked.
was like, A, it saved us money, and
Yeah.
B, it was like less dickheads about that we had to deal with.
Yeah,
Although I do wish that when we went to see the Shard that we'd maybe got a tube out that way and stuff.
yeah.
because we were
Sorry.
carrying a lot of shit, and I
My
didn't
bad.
realise quite the distance that we were walking. It's just a shame that we didn't actually get to go up.
Yeah,
Which
if
we
we'd
really
had
should
more
go back and
time,
do.
I
If
think
you've got a
because you
tube.
can go
You'd have had the time.
gone along the horizontal tube to then go up a
I think the
vertical
other
tube.
problem is as well is like we kind of run out of money and shit, and it was like the last
True
day
Londoner.
Yeah.
we were going to get flights
was-
and trains
Bless
and
you.
stuff. So
Yeah, we had to watch our time. That was
Yeah.
the problem.
so like we just kind
Um,
of went, we'll just walk up, we'll look at it from the bottom and go, oh, nice building, and then walk away and go get a train to Stansted.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to walk there?
We walked
Probably about an
from
hour.
where were we? Where were we staying
no.
again?
the shittiest place ever.
Yeah.
Bet it still cost you a fortune.
Yeah, it was probably
That's alright.
It cost us
expensive. It was
less of
more
a fortune than it would have to stay in like an actual hotel for what 4 days, 5 days. How long? were we
No, a lot of the hotels were like 200 a night or something like that. They
Mm.
were actually really expensive,
there?
and
Because
this
we
place
paid
was
like 100
just
quid
over
for
100.
for like the time
Yeah.
we were there.
Oh wow,
No,
that
it
was really good.
But it was a cupboard.
Yeah,
It was a cupboard with
What do
two
you-
single beds.
You're
shower.
sightseeing. You just need to
Yeah.
sleep in it.
yeah, but we then had the
Nellie's
train right behind us.
Nelly
Yeah,
has
Nellie's
frozen.
disappeared.
She has.
Come back to us, Nelly. Well, while we're waiting for Nelly to recover, as a reminder, so we are
Yes.
doing D&D next week. So Bob is taking over because he is going to be our DM and player.
Yeah, we don't have quite enough people, so,
So
I need
we're
to ship in as a
gonna-
DMPC.
For our special, yes, there may be a couple of people that I've been talking to who could be interested in joining us, and that way you could either just kind of really step back into DM role or play as well. It's up to you.
Yep.
Um,
If someone else wants to step in as a player, then that means I'll focus just on DMing, which
So,
is
but that is all dependent on how well next week goes. So, this week we're doing character setup. So, Bob, Take it away.
Nellie's still frozen.
Yep, and it's amazing,
No.
and I'm leaving it. I am not doing anything to it. I'm just gonna
That-
leave her
that's-
there until she dips.
That's China censoring us one at a time.
That's exactly what's happening right now. They caught up to us.
Yeah. You ruined it for us, John.
No, I said fuck China 3 times, man. It's like Candyman. Can't say it. Just
And now we're all doomed.
when
thanks to
some
you.
Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker shows up and attacks me.
Jesus Christ.
Hey man, listen,
So-
if you're gonna dig a
Anywho.
hole, if you're gonna dig a hole, you might as well fucking dig
You
it
may
right.
as well go deeper.
Yep,
Yep.
you
That's
might
the
as well
best
go right. You
strategy.
might as well just dig it as deep as you fucking can, because you're gonna be in there for a while. So let's fucking go.
I reckon that's literally what
straight down the
Fallout. I reckon that's literally what Blizzard did.
Probably.
Like
yeah.
they were like, ah, shit, yeah, whatever, dude. It'll be
Anyway,
fine.
let's get away from this and talk about
Yeah.
characters and D&D and stuff.
Yeah, so Matt, you have some experience with D&D.
I do indeed, yeah.
Did you get a thing on which version you're playing? No,
Yeah, no, yeah, for just
Ooh.
5e, just standard.
fair,
Oh.
fair enough. So I've got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is Pathfinder's very maths intensive.
Ooh.
There's a lot more maths than other versions of D&D. The good news is I passed my driving theory test today.
Ooh.
You had
Nice.
you had to get that in there somewhere, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, literally, I came straight from there to here and stay up.
Valid.
Regular overlays will return when Nelly returns.
Yeah, I noticed the overlays going all dodgy on the other screen. I'm like, oh, geez, what's happening here? So, are you able to bring up the character sheet on
Actually, I'll just
the
leave us
screen?
like us. I'll just leave us like this.
Or I could just
No, that's
cast
fine. I'll find.
my
I'll
screen
find
and
it.
bring it up?
I just need to find the links.
I think I sent the
So
actual
there's a blank
PDF.
character sheets there. I've got them here.
Yep. I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen to tell you where it is.
There we go.
Just a hand will just morph out behind John and just go. brrr.
Ooh.
That should
There we
be
go.
showing up on stream now.
So, this probably looks very familiar for you, Matt. Bits and pieces will be different, but I'm going to run through a lot of the stuff and hopefully simplify it.
And hopefully Nelly will know somehow.
Yeah, she's still listening. I think she's got up
Yeah.
on her phone.
Right, brilliant. Hopefully she returns to us soon.
If we need to go back
Hopefully.
over it a little bit, then we can. It's not a problem.
Ah, there she dips.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, the top section, top right hand side,
Yeah, she's got her tablet.
all just text, so you don't need to really worry too much about that. Alignment does affect how you should try to roleplay. So if you're a lawful character, don't go breaking laws willy nilly.
Mhm.
Oh, Bob, you know me better than that.
If you do that, I will impose an alignment shift on your character.
No, I mean I will be playing some form of chaotic. Like, I haven't decided whether I'm going to be lawful or what, but I like to be a dickhead, man.
You can't be lawful chaotic because that's the
Doesn't-
same paradigm. It's two sides of the same paradigm.
Yeah.
You can be like chaotic good or chaotic evil or chaotic neutral or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
yeah.
It's probably
It's
going to
like
be
a-
chaotic. I'm like,
Yeah, there's 9 options basically. So you got lawful, neutral, and chaotic, and then you got good, neutral, and evil. If in doubt, just go neutral, and that gives you flexibility.
True neutral. Yeah.
Yeah, race has some, but not many effects on your character.
That's a decent amount, arguably.
Yeah, it's early game. It's quite noticeable, but by late game, it's your class that really,
Yeah.
your class, your feats, what you pick, that really dictates how they work. So, one character I built was Felicis Dread, and I also picked a regional bonus so that her base land speed was 60 feet instead of 30. And then I picked feats and bonuses that then boosted that to 85. So when it comes to moving around the board, that character, fucking lightning. But that was because Felicis got a base land speed of 40, had a regional bonus that gave plus 10, and then feats and stuff like that, like speed of thought, which boosted even further. So, yep. Oop. There's a.
I'm just changing the name of the podcast because I don't need to have the recording in there anymore because YouTube just uploads it automatically.
Fair. So there's six stats for base abilities. I don't know why I said 4. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. They're fairly self-explanatory, but intelligence, wisdom tend to get mixed up a fair bit.
Yeah.
So
quite
I'm gonna fill this in as we go because I've not done mine.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hello.
Hey, you're back!
You're also in a weird place. What the fuck?
I?
Yeah, you're in top right. Oh, and
Oh, yeah, so you
there
are.
you're back now. You're back now.
Hurrah.
But when I put you like this, it puts you top right. That's fine. We're leaving it like this anyway because I got character sheet.
Yeah.
But so, who's
So,
currently
tell you what.
actively listening in chat right now? Just give me like a I'm here. Just because I'm gonna actually let chat have some interaction with us.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Just mainly you guys can do what you want, but my funny Bob. My some of this will be interactive.
Chat
with the
influenced.
Yeah, if they're here.
Yeah.
Richard or Scott or.
Oh, yeah, if anyone in the audience has good suggestions, I will just implement it. And none of you are getting a say.
Aw.
It's
So
actually
we
in the
need,
rule book. The DM has final say on every rule dispute.
we need
Every.
a character name.
Yeah, so
Aw.
I just shoved mine into a
that is
random
actually
gen.
one of the harder things sometimes, actually, is picking a name.
Mine didn't save mine.
Oh, that's actually, it should save. You're editing in a
Because
browser.
it was fine, and then I restarted the computer, so I just smacked
Oh.
save before I did, and then it didn't.
Okay.
But that's fine. I
Hopefully,
hadn't put.
because these
Now
should be
remember it.
editable. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are marked as editable PDFs.
Yeah, I mean I can.
I nearly said edible PDFs. That's something slightly different.
So we're looking for
That's
a
my name.
character name. We're looking for their. What does it mean by size? Because there's sizing in height and weight.
Yeah, so
It
size
depends on your. Oh,
sizes are categories, and it's generally about creature size. So humans are medium. Dwarves are typically small, I think. Gnomes are definitely small.
Dwarves, yeah.
Yeah.
halflings are small.
Yeah, half orcs tend to be large. But what that does is it actually imposes quite big changes to your base stats. So your race will influence things. So humans, I think they get to pick a +2 to any ability score. So their strength or
So
dexterity.
what are let's go through the races
So the
then. playable
options-
races.
Let me actually bring up the list so I don't miss any.
I'm gonna find my old stuff that I have, in terms of wider D&D. In case that is of any use.
I'm gonna stick to core stuff for simplicity's sake. So for races, there's actually only 7 of them by default in the core book. There's more in the expanded stuff, but I'm sticking to core.
Yeah,
for
we don't want to go
simplicity.
overly complicated for a 2-hour
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
shot.
So starting off, we've got dwarves. Let me just bring up the stat block for the dwarf. Because I think they get a bonus to Constitution. Yeah. So they gain +2 Constitution, +2 Wisdom, but -2 Charisma. So, because generally, personality-wise, they're not super talkative. They'd rather just hit you.
This is for the dwarves.
Yeah, this is just for dwarves. I'm just going to run through roughly
Yeah, no,
what their
just
stat
so my
modifiers are.
brain can be like.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, they count as small creatures. They're humanoids, and they have a base land speed of 20 feet, so you can move 4 squares, because each square on the grid is 5 foot.
Yeah.
So if you go dwarf, you can only move 4 squares by default. There's feats and stuff you can take to change that, or other attributes to boost that. They also get a neat ability that they are not slowed by wearing heavy armor. Most other races are slowed down by it. Dwarves aren't. They can wear it without being encumbered. Next are the elves. They tend to be reasonably tall, as you'd expect. They tend to they're quite dexterous, actually, and for their stat block, they get +2 dexterity, +2 intelligence, but -2 constitution. Constitution affects your health directly, by the way.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
A lot.
Quite a
Such
lot.
that if someone applies ability drain and they hit your constitution, it's bad. It's just bad. They have a baseline speed of 30 feet, like humans. But they also get immunity to sleep effects, and they get like bonus to resisting like enchantments and stuff if they have to make a saving throw against those specifically. Next, we got the gnome. They are the smallest, I think, out of all of the races in standard Pathfinder. So +2 constitution, +2 charisma because they're cute. And -2 strength because they're so bloody small. They count as small creatures. And they get a bonus to their armor class. Armor class is a measure of how difficult it is to hit something. Usually actually land a damaging blow. Because armor would technically make you easier to hit because you're bigger and bulkier and slower. But if you hit someone in armor, you're not going to do as much damage. So that's why armor class is affected by that. So they actually get a +1 to their armor class straight off the bat. So they're harder to hit because they're so small. They also move 20 feet. And they've got a whole bunch of other things like keen senses,
Quite a lot.
illusion resistance, defense. Yeah, they get a lot of racial traits.
Quite a lot. Which is why I said,
like
at the start of the early game, it really does have an influence.
Yeah, you're quite right on that. It does have an influence there. Next up, we've got the half-elf. Basically half human, half elf. So, yeah, they gain a +2 bonus to any of their ability scores. So you pick it. So you could say, I really want to boost my strength by 2 points. You're not restricted to the list. They're medium creatures. They also get the immunity to sleep effects. They have low light vision, so they can see in the dark more easily. They don't need a torch at nighttime, basically, to see. But if it's a pitch black environment, then they're just as blind as a human would be. The campaign I play, most of us have picked races that get dark vision, so they don't need torches at all. And we recently acquired one human character who's like, oh yeah, I need light sources. And we're all like, oh, we don't have none. Half orcs. Moving on to them, we have.
What class did I say I was going to play again? I can't remember.
You said you were going to random gen.
You
but played as rogues.
Yeah,
I said
I've got a warlock and a fighter.
Warlock and a fighter. Sorry, got that completely backwards. So half orcs again gain this +2 to any one of their ability scores.
Right.
Oh, they do count as medium creatures. They're not large.
Random number generator, 1 to 100. Right. I'm gonna click this button 36 times, and whatever happens.
Yeah, half orcs get an intimidate bonus. So if you're trying to intimidate an enemy, you get a bonus to that just because you're an orc and you're probably 10 times musclier than anything else on the field. Orcs also get ferocity. Normally in D&D, when you hit 0 hit points, you're unconscious and bleeding out, and you lose 1 hit point per round until you hit negative what your constitution score is. So if you've got a constitution of 11, it's when you're at -11, that's when you die. You can roll each round as well to stabilize and stop bleeding out, but then you just remain unconscious for the fight, unless somebody heals you and gets you back on your feet. Orcs, when they hit 0, can fight on for an extra round before passing out.
That's pretty cool.
So it's actually really handy, especially level 1, when you have 5 hit points, and a goblin can punch you to death in 1 hit. They also have weapon proficiencies. You get a massive bonus to using great axes and falchions, and they have dark vision up to 60 feet. So it could be completely lightless, no light sources whatsoever. They can still see 60 foot ahead. Problem.
Very cool.
Half orc was kind of what I was leaning to anyway. I think
They're quite tough,
Yeah.
tend to be. Also got the halfling, and then last is the human. Yeah, human is last in this list. It's alphabetical.
I just like that we didn't get any. You're like halfling, and then you're like moving on.
They get half the
We've covered.
description. Yeah, they
We've
get a
got
+2 to
nose.
dexterity, a
The
+2
boring
to charisma.
dot.
Yeah. And a -2 to strength. They're small creatures, so they also get that +1 bonus to AC. But they get the -1 on attack rolls because, well, they're tiny, so they're like, when they hit people. But they do get a +4 bonus to stealth checks, as do gnomes. I forgot to read that part out. So if you want to be sneaky, go halfling or a gnome, because they're hard to detect. Again, their base land speed is quite low.
I mean, for me, all I'm gonna say is, Bob, you've seen me play Hill.
They're not sneaky. It was like, what was
Good
that
heavens.
thing the
I'm
other
gonna
day?
play this game like I play Halo. Subtlety is not gonna be a thing. You guys can sneak around all you want. I'm gonna be playing as a giant fucking half orc that just doesn't give a fuck. So
You could, if you build your character right, build a sneaky orc.
I could, but then that happens quite a lot. Because a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm going to do that because it'll be really funny," and then there are like 50,000 other people that done the same thing. Because we've all seen the memes. We've all seen the D&D memes of like, I made this half orc do this thing, and the roll went wrong, and then they felt like
Yeah,
we've all seen it. So I don't want to be a trope. I just want to play a character.
fair.
I kind of like to play something counter to what I was, but then I'm like, my brain's really tired right now, so I'm just going to play something that I know, which is to just be a dick. So
I have done a half orc assassin as a character once, but he wasn't a sneaky assassin. He's just the guy that would beat down your door in the middle of the night and smash your skull with a hammer and murder any police that tried to stop him. That kind of assassin is like, he's not subtle. He just beats you to death with a hammer, and then that's that.
Okay,
Um,
so where are we at?
I'll
We've
just
done
go over the
human.
humans.
Yep.
But they're going to be very similar, half orc and half elf.
To an
They
extent.
get the +2 racial.
To an extent.
To an
Yeah.
extent, they're much more flexible as a race. That's their kind of
I
thing.
feel like humans always are. Humans are just like
That's how they're portrayed in
a
everything.
bit of everything, but
Yeah.
never as good as anything.
Humans, the thing that makes them flexible is not just the +2 bonus to any one skill, but they also get to select an extra feat at first level. Feats are like things we'll go into later on as we build up our characters a little. They also gain an additional skill rank at first level, and I'll be going over the skills later. So, yeah, John, let's see what you've got up on the screen.
I'm gonna do half orc, I think.
Yeah, you're gonna do half orc.
Uh,
So we'll have to bear in mind, Nelly, what are you thinking of picking?
Halfling.
Halfling.
A halfling druid. Oh no.
That actually
like-
works, to be fair.
From the bushes.
It does. I'm gonna
From
be
the
like,
bushes.
It
all,
works.
but Nelly, all of your animals that you summon have to be bigger than you.
I think that's actually really true.
You have to be able to put. You're not allowed it unless you can put a saddle on it.
I was told that I can ride the pet if it's bigger than me, but I don't know if that's
Yes.
true. That was yes.
So that's you're not allowed a pet unless you can put a saddle on it.
I'm a halfling druid with a fucking tiger. This is gonna be
Sick.
epic.
So you're like Skeletor.
Definitely,
Pretty
this
much.
is exactly who I am.
Though you're going to have a hard time with an actual full-sized horse. So you can have a pony, not a full-sized horse. Because
I think I can have a. I think I can have a pet horse, can't I? So, my companion could be a pet horse. It's just this massive horse, like, hi guys.
horse gets fed up and literally just flings you by flicking its head.
It doesn't even do that. It just walks in the opposite direction. I'm like, bye.
I've now realised that we maybe should have just gave the whole 2 hours to this because we're gonna go off on tangents, but we'll need to
Cool.
get through it a bit quicker.
So, I'm going to focus on the ability scores now. There's a traditional way of doing ability scores, but I'm not going to do it that way.
I'm intrigued.
And the reason is fairness. Now, normally you would take 4d6, roll them, take away the lowest roll.
Mhm.
There's another ping from Matt, and then you would add up those 3, and that would be your thing. Matt's going
I've just randomed it, and I've got that because I
an
clicked.
elf paladin. Oh boy, we're gonna have a paladin. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, paladins as a class can only be lawful good,
Yeah, exactly.
unless you go a blackguard, in which you can only be lawful evil.
You're an old man.
Oh lord.
Oh lordy, old.
For an elf, that's actually
Yeah, he's not old for
that's like 50s, 60s for a human. So
Yeah.
old, but not old enough to really hit them in the
That's
stats.
really old. 60.
Yep. So
I'm kidding.
I'm going to quickly look up.
Yeah, so I'll need a dice roller thing, won't I?
Not at the moment, because we're going to do ability score point by. So everyone will get. So you start with all your scores on 10. So that's average.
So just put 10 into strength, dex, con.
Yep.
usually, yeah.
Put 10 into everything just now,
No.
and then we'll start modifying them.
As you go.
Yep. And then
My mute button in Discord is set to 0, so this is. I'm gonna go in and out for a little bit. I'll try to make sure that I end up unmuted at the end.
why not use like
Try.
something like page up, page down, or stuff like that for those buttons? Because
Because these are more convenient for where I keep my hand. That
Bye.
makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, back.
Yep, let's go.
So I'm gonna go with like standard fantasy campaign types. That gives you each 15 ability score points that you can add to any
Oh.
of those scores.
Like in Sims.
Yeah. Or think of our favorite game, Fallout, when you build a new character and you get some ability score points to put into your intelligence or your luck or your strength. It's basically that. So, have you figured a class? Because before we go spending all our points in one place,
I mean, I need to know the classes.
yeah, good point.
You did some quite good brief
shit.
descriptions in chat. If you
I
wanted
did,
to just
actually.
reread those out.
I could just go back over them because they are abbreviated somewhat. If I can find my post again, there we go. So we've got rogues, which are mostly quite sneaky, dexterity, reasonable intelligence kind of characters. Bards, who are normally seen as useless, but they're really not. They're characters that can literally do a little bit of everything. And they tend to buff the party that they're with, so they'll do things that just give like +1s, +2s here and there, and other useful abilities that kind of manipulate and tip the scales in the favor of the party. They also, because they typically have high charisma, talk to all the NPCs and do a lot of the talking stuff. So if it's a diplomacy or a bluff or something like that, get the bard to do it because they can lie through their teeth and people will believe it. Barbarians are pretty straightforward. They just they just rage and hit things. They get power attack as a feat, which you can keep stacking this, and it just keeps adding bonuses to your attack and damage. Oh no, sorry, it takes away from your attack depending on what type of rage you do, but it adds to the damage. An attack your chance to hit.
Yeah.
Because you're flailing around madly, so you're less likely to hit, but when you do hit, you do a fuck ton more damage. Fighter is your fairly all-rounder for the most part. Fairly straightforward.
He goes in there and swings the sword.
Yep. They tend to also be battlefield manipulators in a more offensive capacity. Like, they use trips and disarms and acrobatic stuff to outfox their opponents and keep them off balance. And early game, they're a frontline fighter that does a lot of damage. Got wizards. They're like your artillery, as I said in the other one.
Wizards, warlocks,
yeah, wizards, warlocks, sorcerers. They deal the heavy damage.
Single damage. No, it's not even single target.
No, it's not, because most of their spells are area effect.
Yeah, quite a lot of
which
them anyway.
You have to be careful with, because fireball's area of effect and friendly fire is a thing.
It is.
So, if the wizard fires a fireball that does...
you gotta get out the way.
Everybody in there, even if they pass their save, is affected, friend or... Wizards and sorcerers tend to be very similar, same category, but there are some subtle differences to be aware of. Wizards have to prepare their spells in advance every day. So they get a set list of spells that they can cast, and that also...
every long rest, yeah.
Yeah, for every rest period. Sorcerers are fast casters, so they have less spells, but they can cast them a bit more often, and they don't have to prepare in advance. They can literally just go, lightning. But then can't learn as many spells as a wizard can. Clerics and your druids tend to be your healers in a lot of campaigns. More the cleric than the druids. Druids also tend to have the mob thing going on by summoning lots of extra things or turning into a bear or something bigger and eating their opponents. Think Venom in the latest film. That was pretty awesome. Just rips people's heads off. That's that.
Sorry, what class was that? I was thinking.
Druid.
Druid. Good.
You're picking your name, did you say?
Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah, clerics tend to be more healing centric, but they don't have to be. Depending on the deity that they use, they can actually be quite offensive. You can have a domain of death and essentially be almost like a necromancer, just summon zombies and send them into fight. Pro tip: if you're ever fighting undead, healing spells. Undead. Because it's about positive energy and negative energy. So positive energy.
You know where else that is true? Magicka.
Yeah, it's a very common theme in a lot because it's a very good mechanic. It's a simple thing. Positive energy heals the living, harms the undead, and negative energy is vice versa.
Do you think that skeletons are just really old zombies?
I mean, possibly, but in the lore, they're made differently. It's a completely different set of spells.
I was just
on a scale of 1 to 10. How high are you right now?
I was just thinking about this the other day. And I haven't found a single person who wants to agree with me, but I'm going with that.
It also depends on the environment. Bones can degrade really rapidly if they're in the right conditions.
I think anyway, they're in the rain.
We're sidetracking, and we've got half an hour left.
Let's go.
So we've also got the monk, which tends to be more of a hand-to-hand combat kind of expert. Though they can use things like quarterstaffs and what.
A brawler sense.
Yeah, they are more of a brawler than anything, which can be handy. But also means that, for your early levels, you don't deal lethal damage unless you take the right feats. Because punching people is non-lethal.
You punch him. You knock him out.
Unless you have natural weapons like claws or something. Did I leave? Oh yeah, I nearly forgot paladins. You're a paladin, Matt. Paladins tend to be a combination of magic caster and frontline fighter. I think a lot of their spells are around empowering their weapon, and using divine focus, like divine magic, rather than arcane magic, like sorcerers, druids, and wizards. So they channel the energy of their god through their weapon to smite, basically. And they have to follow the letter of the times. They cannot lie. That is one of the class traits.
Yeah.
Tell lies. They cannot be deceitful.
In any sense.
Like they can't set traps either. Because that's a deceitful thing. Because if you're hiding a trap, then you're trying to deceive people. There's all sorts of character quirks that make them kind of tricky to play. In the last campaign where we had a paladin, invariably the party just turned on the paladin, tied him up, chucked him in a cupboard, and then went off and did all the things they needed to do, and then came back. Eventually the character snapped and became a blackguard, and then killed us.
Sick.
Well, he didn't kill us. He let us die, and then just went off doing his own thing. Just summoned a bunch of zombies, took a ship for himself, and became a zombie pirate lord. I was like, oh, that was a short run for that group.
So
Very nice.
I think I'm going to go with, we'll go pretty stereotypical here and go with barbarian.
Right, okay. Half-orc barbarian, pretty standard. And it's always a good staple to have.
Like, obviously, if we carry it on, I might change it up and go something a bit more
Yeah.
interesting.
So,
for our one-off.
yeah. Stick. Where's the race? Where's your class thing?
I don't see anything on here for class specifically. Like an entry field or anything on here.
There should be one. Huh.
You know, I couldn't find somewhere to put
Character
your class.
name, level, race, size, gender, age. I mean, you could probably just put it in next to race, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless on level, you could put level 3 barbarian. It might be meant to be inside that box.
Yeah.
I normally have a separate box for class. Interesting. I didn't spot that wasn't there.
It's fine. It's not the biggest deal. What's next?
Nah, we know you're a barbarian. So now, this is when you want to start looking at spending those 15 extra points you've got. So for your character, John, I would definitely recommend your strength, dexterity, and constitution. Constitution will directly buff your health. Dexterity will make you harder to hit, and strength will make you hit hard.
Can I put it all into luck?
There is no luck.
There is no luck.
Other than
Luck
in
is
the dice.
elsewhere.
So is it 15 points?
Yeah, you have 15 points to spread amongst all your scores. You can
To
also...
add to your sim character.
Yeah. And in fact, actually, before you spend those, let's add in your racial modifiers.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a good idea. Do that first one, it doesn't fuck with the maths.
Yes. So you get to pick a +2 bonus to any one ability score choice for the half-orc.
We're going to be...
Sounds like you made that choice.
Going to be semi more charming than I was. I have a little bit of charisma. Just so that when I tell someone I'm going to kill them, they kind of believe it.
They're really Oh, thank you, good sir.
The unusual one. But
Just so that I
you
can go,
technically, because
"Listen,
of that, have 17 points to play with.
right, listen, I've got this giant club and you're going to die, so kind of just give me what I want. It might not happen.
Diplomacy, don't fight me.
Yeah. Bitch, you don't want to try.
Basic,
Give
but
me
it's
what I
there.
want, or I'm going to
That might
get
give you a
the-
circumstance bonus. I might allow that. Just like, yeah, you get a +1 to hit. So
Give me what I want, or I'm going to get the tiny one to throw a tiger at you.
God, Fluffy.
I'm just imagining Nelly pour all of her points into strength.
I've got the -2, but it don't matter.
Okay, so what else am I playing with?
Yeah, so now you can start moving your 15 points between the other things. So I would definitely recommend strength and constitution as two of the things to focus on.
Yeah, so I think we'll go.
And you'll want to put in even numbers, and I'll explain this in a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do anyway. So then we'll go like. What use is Dex in that situation? Because you said Dex earlier.
Dexterity, it boosts what's known as your armor class,
Alright,
so that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
you harder to hit, and it affects all your dexterity skills. It also influences your ability to use ranged weapons. Like high dexterity means you've got finer control for aiming, like if it's a crossbow or if it's a bow.
Okay, so we're going to be able to hit hard. I might not be able to take the biggest amount of damage to begin with, and I've got like a nice couple.
So
of
you
Dex
put
points.
10 points in there. Yeah, you got 3 points in constitution. Good. So the next column over, ability modifier.
I'll
This
actually
is something
zoom this in so it's more visible.
Yeah.
Seeing as this is the big fucking around me. Okay,
Yeah.
So
the ability modifier, there's a calculation to figure out what the modifier is, and it's fairly straightforward. It's your ability score minus 10 and divided by 2, and then rounded down. Super simple. John's face, just his brain is melting. Yeah. So for strength,
minus 10 is 10, divided
Yeah.
by 2 is 5.
so you're gonna have a +5 to punching people
yeah.
or hitting them.
So
I probably should have limited you to 18, but hey, let's roll with this.
That's also 1 because it's rounded down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just 0.
Yeah, 0, 0, 1. Boom.
In terms of what a druid halfling would want, I mean, wisdom
Yes,
is
because
an
your
obvious one.
spells
Yeah.
empowered by your wisdom.
I'm just saying, at
Yeah.
some point you are throwing a tiger at someone, so just be prepared for that. in
All right,
some way.
I'll put loads in strength so I can throw my tiger.
If you don't throw your tiger at someone, I'm throwing your tiger at someone. So
Yeah. Yeah, so your
So,
strength ability
wisdom-
modifier will be 10. 5, sorry. Jeez.
wait, who? What?
You, John.
I've done it. Done them all.
Oh, I'm not seeing it on the...
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I've done them
We've
all.
got 511001.
Yep, that's the one. What's next?
Okay, I don't know what's up with this.
Refresh the stream on your end.
So what was the
fuck is
what was the
Rippling
sum
gonna
again?
Take 10 away, half it.
Take 10 away and half it. Oh, okay.
Take 10 away and half it, and
Bob made it sound
it's an odd
needlessly
number,
complicated.
round it down.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You made
And
it.
then
Well,
round
of course I did. I called it simple, so I had to make it sound complicated for irony's sake.
Because you're a twat.
You
Yes.
didn't make it sound complicated. I just lost focus because I was looking at what to put my
Right,
sim points
so
into.
what are we looking at next?
Next, we can actually roll. We can actually figure out your hit points next. So if you scroll over to the side a little,
Yep.
do half orcs get damage reduction? I think the barbarian does actually. No, half orcs don't, but the barbarian does get damage reduction. We'll work that out in a moment. So, for barbarian, hit die. I think it's D8 or is it D12?
Well, that I can sort out. Give me a second.
Hit die is D12. So, I think this is more of a house rule than a standard, but yep, you got dice. Like certainly in the campaigns I've played, we've always just assumed that your first roll for level 1 was a maximum. That way you're not completely shafted for health. If you roll a 1 for health and you go into combat with 1 hit point. That's another thing. If you do lose constitution points, it cannot reduce you to less than 1 hit point. So you can't start with negative health. So there's that.
Procured dice temporarily. So what we do?
Cool. you might not need them. I hadn't finished explaining.
Right, come on, let's go.
You got excited.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you'll be 12 plus your Constitution bonus of 1, so you'll have a total of 13 hit points. Which is... Oh, wait, you're level 3. I'm forgetting this. So there will be 2 rolls. So roll that d12 twice, and let me know the scores. If you get 2 12s in
So
a
we're
row...
starting from level 3, yeah?
Actually,
Yeah, level
do you know
3.
what I'll do?
Cool.
Yeah, just point the camera down.
I'll do this. It's a 5. I don't know if you can see
Cool.
that, but it's a 5.
Sort of. I mean, if I zoom in, I guess.
It's a 5.
Yep, that's a 5.
That's an 8.
Close enough. Right, so 5 and 8 is 13, plus the other 13 you get from 1, so that's 26 for level character.
Cool. Damage reduction.
Damage reduction, I'm just going to kind of try and figure out. Oh, in fact, you don't get damage reduction until 7th level, so you don't need to worry about that just now.
Next.
Next up, we can fill in your... Come on, load up. Fill in your initiative down the bottom. So your initiative is 10 plus your dexterity modifier, so in this case it'll be 11 for you. Or no, initiative is actually... won't be 10. It's not... That's the wrong calculation.
So do I put 10 in total, or do I put it in the misc or dex, or what do I do?
Just trying to remember what the... I think it is just +1, because it is your dexterity modifier. I'm thinking a base attack bonus. That's what I'm doing wrong.
Okay, so where do I put the number though?
So in total, put 1, and then in dex modifier you put 1, and in miscellaneous modifier you put 0.
Cool.
And then we can calculate your armor class without gear for now. So it's 10 plus your dexterity modifier, which gives you 11. You don't have any armor on at the moment. Oh shit, I didn't think about gear. We're going to run out of time for gear, that's for sure.
It's like the bulk of it is just here. The rest of it's just little details that can be done
Yeah,
later.
you can always, like, tomorrow night, you can do the rest of it. Let's just get, like, base stats done.
Yeah, let's get the base stats done.
And then me and you can go over skills and whatever feats in that tomorrow.
Because
skills
that's more detailed stuff that will take a bit
Yeah.
longer. So
because I just like to get the basics done, so we all at least had like a baseline, and then we can kind of just...
Yeah. So for the barbarian, let's go over your base attack bonus. That will be free for 3rd level.
Cool.
And then your saving throws, your fortitude save will be +3.
Where am I putting that?
So just underneath the yeah,
so it's in the box. So total, cool.
Yeah, so fortitude, you get 3 plus your constitution bonus, which is 1, so you actually have a total
of 4.
Yeah. Your reflex save is 1 plus your dexterity modifier.
That's 2.
So that comes to 2. And then your will save will be your is 1 plus your wisdom modifier.
Which is fuck all. So
yeah, so 1. So 4, 2, 1 for your saving throws.
Sweet.
Combat maneuver bonus. So that's adding your strength modifier, so that's 5. plus your size modifier will be 0. So that comes to a total of 8 for you. Sorry, Nell. I'm kind of focusing just on John's character, but that's
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
screen. If you have any questions of what to fill in for any of your stuff, just say, and I will guide. And then
I can use you and Beach, so
Cool. And yeah, so your combat maneuver defense is going to be a total of 19.
19?
Yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
your base
yeah.
attack of
I
3
just
plus
can't
your
count.
strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do some hard thinking there to add numbers. Cool. We won't put the stats in for a weapon, but what sort of weapon do you want to actually use? So think of any
I've got
medieval
a vaguely
weapon.
idea of
Clubs,
like a fucking hammer or something, like a big ass mallet.
big ass warhammer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Almost
So
sort of
you-
like a Harley Quinn style mallet.
Yeah, you
possible.
can get stuff similar to that.
Yeah.
You can get stuff.
Vaguely stupid looking, just.
Someone's recognized that we're playing Pathfinder.
Hello, Nick. Welcome.
Yep. So let's scroll back up to the top and right a little bit. I think we're going to put your base land speed in now. I'm going to quickly check something because you got some abilities, special abilities that I'm going to add, and you get that for this. So a barbarian's land speed is faster than their race by 10 feet.
You went really quiet there, so say that again.
Did I?
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah, sorry. Your first ability is fast movement, which gives you a plus 10 feet bonus. So that should be, unless the half orcs get another baseline speed of 30 feet, right? So that means you have a baseline speed of 40 feet. So that's 8 squares per turn you could move. So
Cool.
if you scroll up.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm seeing a massive delay of
Yeah.
street your site.
Do you know what might be better for me to do for your sake is
just screen share your side.
Yeah, and then you can just full screen me.
Yep.
Because at least that's 1-to-1. I mean, I don't mind running over slightly with this, but it's up to you guys are the ones that have got work in the morning. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up early,
So
and I'm actually pretty tired.
I gotta get a coach in the morning, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm on a late.
So Nelly can sleep in. Actually live our
good.
lives. Cool.
I'll do this. I'll just full screen it.
Yeah, full screen the whole thing, which is actually very handy. I'm just trying
And then
to build in.
there we go.
So let's scroll down slowly.
I mean, that's as far as we've filled anything in there.
Yeah, actually, we can fill in your flat-footed armor class. Basically, take away your dexterity, which is 1. So you have a flat-footed armor class of 10. To explain flat-footed, it's basically any situation where you would not normally get your dexterity bonus. So, like a surprise attack, a surprise round, or if you're pinned or grappled, you lose your dexterity bonus because you can't move properly. And then your touch armor class is basically your armor class without armor. So that will be 11 at the moment. 11.
I know, I keep pressing too many buttons. I mean, it can be 1 equals 4 if it wants to be. It's still 1.
I mean, if you want a touch AC of 1, then you're going to die a lot.
Yeah.
Now, another tweak that I'm going to do away with was the class skills kind of rule. It's a simplicity tweak, really. So you can kind of better fine-tune your character. Now we need to go over some of your abilities. So if we scroll down, there should be a thing for special abilities. There we go. So first off, you want to put fast movement in.
Yep.
I'm just bringing up the rest of the abilities. So the next is Rage. And we can put in a thing for what they mean, but Rage, we'll do this, we'll worry about it later.
Yeah, just give me the what I need to put in. We'll...
Cool. You then get a single Rage power. We'll rename that to which one you pick later.
Cool.
Yep. You get Uncanny Dodge.
Yeah.
And you get Trap Sense +1.
Now we can all sit here and judge John's typing ability.
Which is terrible, and I don't care.
I've spent my whole life using a keyboard similar to John, and my typing is still pretty mediocre. I can just do mediocre typing faster these days. And that is it for your special abilities on your character just now.
Cool.
But your rage powers are basically... Rage is an activated thing.
Yeah.
So you choose when you rage. And it has things like buffing how much damage you output or how much constitution you got. You can get a rage power later on that gives you healing, like you regenerate health on your own without the need of magic.
Nice.
And you can get rage powers that basically will literally make you like Doom Guy. You're just too angry to die. So you could be knocked into the negatives and still be fighting.
Nice.
But that's very much late level. So now we need to pick some feats. So let me just figure out how many you will have.
I mean, Nick, that's vaguely what I'm just... you missed the bit earlier on
Yeah.
where essentially what I want to be able to do is just be like, do the thing I want you to do, or I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, that's just where your intimidate score will come in, actually. We could fill in the numbers for that right now, just on the intimidate score, but that is your strength modifier, plus however many ranks you take in that ability, plus any other things. So intimidate is, yeah, the right there. Oh, equals charisma. I could have sworn that that was a strength-based skill.
I mean, it kind of makes sense for it to be charisma. You would still have to be believable for it to be convincing.
Yeah, I mean, you could just... Yeah, be a very intimidating... Well, that's the point. You're meant to be an intimidating... I'm sure you get, as a half-orc, get an intimidate bonus.
Also, Nick, if
Yeah.
you watch next week, you may also hear me throw a tiger at someone. Just
Yeah, so you get a +2 racial bonus on intimidate checks.
where does that go?
The miscellaneous modifier on the end.
So put 2 in there.
Just put 2 in there. Yep. Ranks, you can have up to 6 ranks in there. We will need to work out your skill point limit later. And then
Blank for
ability
me.
modifier will have to be 1 because your charisma is 1.
Cool.
Just wondering if it's like maybe out of alignment, but it looks fine everywhere else.
No,
well.
it's fine. It looks everyone's.
I'll look it up later. Maybe there's an error on the sheet, or maybe it's just the playing is tweaked more than I expected.
Yeah. Let's not get lost in it.
Yeah, let's not do that. So, character advancement. So yeah, you'll get another feat. Yeah, so you get 2 feet to pick. Now this actually, there's quite a lot of to choose from. This could actually take a while, and we are almost out of time. But I'll give you a bit of a flavour of what some of these are.
Is there something else that we could do quickly, and you can just send me a list of feats, and I'll look over them?
Just let me just pull that sheet. We could fill in your weapon, just the name of it, just that. And I
Giant
could probably
fucking mallet.
yeah, giant fucking mallet. You can name the weapon whatever, but then the weapon type will be hammer.
I'm just trying to think of a name for what I want to call it.
And I think picks and hammers, they get really high.
I'm gonna call my mallet Gertrude.
That's a legit name for that hammer. I'm just trying to think what other things to fill in.
Basically, any of the weapons that I would likely to have are gonna have like old women's names.
Yeah. I would recommend you take like a hand crossbow as a backup weapon and like some knives or something as extras.
The hand crossbow is going to be called Betty.
Of course it is.
One will be called Agatha. And
You could even take a throwing knife.
Yeah, we'll call the throwing
Name
knife
them
Agatha.
individually. Name them individually.
I'm not going that far. It's not for a possibly temporary character. We've got Gertrude, Betty, Agatha. I need another old person's name.
Dorothy.
Dorothy. There you go.
You need one beginning. I don't know actually. Am I?
Dorothy it is then.
Dorothy,
so let's
yeah.
move
Dorothy.
get for the next session.
What's that?
So Gertrude is a hammer.
Yep.
Put in brackets with like what the actual things are.
Well, I mean, it's there anyway.
Oh,
There's
you
a
should
type
enter the
field.
type.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Betty's a crossbow, a hand crossbow. And
Do you mind if you send me that that sheet by the way?
well, the filled in
the template. This template.
It's in the
Oh, it's
chat,
in
so
the
just scroll
Discord.
up. You'll
Is it?
see a link from
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah, it's there. Scroll up, like past the SoundCloud thing. Agatha is going to be
throwing knife.
Oh shit! It is.
Nice.
Oopsie.
Yep. It's right there.
What did we have? What was the something?
Dorothy was like a dagger, I think.
Cool. There we go.
So basically, like this is the thing. Like a hammer isn't suitable for everything, and also if you're going to want weapons. Like you're really a shooty thing. Bang! There we go. That killed somebody.
Yeah, but then there's the reload.
Yes.
That's the downside.
Oh, languages down on the bottom right there.
Yep.
We're going to put common. And orc. Now your intelligence was 10, so it's not a high score.
Yeah.
So that's fine because you could have chosen from things like abyssal, draconic, giant, and goblin as other languages that you just. Special traits. We need to add dark vision to your special abilities.
What's he playing as?
Half orc.
I didn't know of. Orcs had dark vision.
Yep, Pathfinder. They've got dark vision. So I would put in brackets beside dark vision 60 feet. Just FT. Yep, that'll do. Perfect. You also get weapon familiarity. I'm going to fill in the states for that, and then you also get orc ferocity.
Do you get what?
Orc ferocity. Close enough.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's just, but yeah.
Double R or double S or some shit. I don't know.
It's a single R, but it's a C instead of an S.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
There we go.
So that's
A couple of minutes left, so.
Yep.
fucking Gertrude, Betty, Agatha, Dorothy. Fuck me.
Some amazing names. I've never named my weapons in D&D before. Like,
Nor have I.
Oh,
No,
man.
you
Listen,
get some.
listen. If you're gonna do a stupid character, you go the whole way. You don't.
oh yes, absolutely.
You don't just go, "This is my hammer." You've got to go, "I'ma smack you with Gertrude."
Here's Gertrude. Well, you'll find out. Dong.
Dong.
Here's Dorothy in your lungs. Like, you got to do it properly, especially something like with a bit of Doric accent in it as well.
Beautiful.
Amazing. To be honest, character quirks are something that you want in D&D because it helps for playing.
I'm gonna call my collection of weapons the Pink Ladies.
Fair.
Great.
There we go. We're gonna go. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well go. Like, if I'm just gonna be smashing
ham.
shit and just being a barbarian and being angry all the time, I might as well try and have a bit of a funny side to it.
Yeah. Right, let's look down a little further. I don't think there's much more to fill in other than the fact you've got 2 feats to pick. Experience points. I will very quickly tell you where you would be sitting a third level character. So I'm going with the fast leveling system. So you'll be sitting at 3,300.
What is it to the next level?
To the next level, it would be you need to get to 6,000.
Cool. Cool.
And actually,
what?
Oh wait, I'll work out the starting goal. Oh yeah, starting gold. You'd be starting with 3,000 gold.
Is that GP?
Yeah. Yep, GP.
3,000.
Yep, 3,000 gold. And that will apply to everybody. So everyone's starting with 1,000 gold to spend. Because, well, if you've been adventuring enough to get to level 3, yeah, you've earned some cash.
Yeah.
And that kind of rounds it out for the basic stats of this. You don't need to worry about spells because barbarians don't do magic. And at some point we'll sit and go through the skills. But basically you'll have a skill pool to pick from, like a number of points that you can spend, similar to the ability scores. And we just go through like adding points, ranks to certain things.
So my initial thought is that maybe tomorrow, because obviously Matt, you know what you're doing. You kind of set up and ready to go, really, aren't you? So
to an extent, yeah. Because it's Pathfinder, it's slightly different.
Yeah,
but slightly. There'll be stumbling.
But if you're away at a con, maybe like tomorrow, me, Nelly, and Bob can kind of just sit in like a chat and just go over the last of it. Because obviously there's probably stuff that you like to know there, Nelly, as well. But we can do that. We can kind of. I just thought, since I hadn't done any of it, I hadn't had a chance to look at it, I thought that was maybe the better idea, is to just kind of have that up on the screen and just go through it. But there was obviously a lot more in there, and we probably should have just given the whole thing to that. But live and learn. So before we go, I've pressed button.
Bye, John.
Bye. I pressed enter.
Before we go, goodbye.
Stop my webcam. So Friday this will be uploaded to SoundCloud. You can hit us up with in the chat. There's a SoundCloud link. Hopefully that will work. Go start following us over there. Every Friday after a podcast, there will be an upload of the audio to that place. We will work on getting it to more accessible places, but for now, SoundCloud is our option because they gave us the cheapest deal. So, next week is the Halloween special. We will be playing a 2-hour session designed by Bob for Halloween. We're going to have some fun with it.
In costumes.
Some sort of costumes, yes. It's going to be pretty fun, hopefully, and we're going to have some fun with it. It's not going to be like a super serious, like, everybody's proper, like, we're just going to have some fun.
If you take D&D too serious, you end up not
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people get, because it's a 2-hour throwaway thing, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna, like, I'm not even really particularly that bothered about, you know, remaining 2 in the world. And just we can be knobs and just whatever, you know, we're just gonna have some fun with it. It's just like in my names of
That's
weapons,
the idea, yeah.
in the names of the weapons, I've called them 4 old women's names, and as a collection, they're known as the Pink Ladies. So, fuck it, we're gonna have some fun with it, and that's next week. So you're getting an extra special D&D, and if you want it to continue, come watch us next week, because if the numbers are good, we'll do it more, possibly.
Yeah.
With more people.
Might even look at a full campaign in the future if it works
Perhaps,
out for
yeah.
us.
So yeah, I think ultimately we might all enjoy it, because I've actually been sitting just kind of enjoying kind of coming up with because while you've been talking over all the boring stat numbers, I've been thinking about all the names and the kind of way that I want to play it all. So
Designing characters is actually quite a fun thing. I enjoy just building characters, even if I'm not going to use them. So I have, like, for the campaign I'm playing at the moment, I actually have like a bank of ready to roll characters. I just go
In case
roll
one
their
dies,
stats.
you flink it out.
Oh yeah, I'm on my second character for this particular campaign, not including the prologue ones. And technically, I should be on like my 5th, because my first one, Draven, died a lot, but he was always resurrected within a turn, so it was okay.
Nice.
He should have died quite often, and finally did die. Had his soul sucked out of him by a magic mirror. Pretty brutal way to go. The worst thing was, in fact, it wasn't the worst. I actually quite enjoyed this bit. His body was then inhabited by another magical force that controlled him and acted just like him. So I became an agent for the enemy. Until a key point where my character would go berserk and I started attacking the other players.
okay,
It was great.
So tune in next week. The Discord is up on the screen right now. Anybody listening on SoundCloud, please head over to Misadventure Inc on YouTube and try and catch us live, where we are in webcams and talking and interacting with our chat. So if you'd like to ask us any questions or anything like that, come and do it there, because that's more like where we're going to see it. Until then, Matt, anything to say before you go?
I'm going to be at London Comic Con this weekend, so if you're there, hit me up.
Nelly?
I'm just going to be playing Overwatch.
Bob?
I'm actually at work.
Bob?
Yeah, I'm going to be preparing more D&D things for next week, and
Yeah.
I've actually got a really awesome costume idea. Love it, but I'm keeping it secret.
Mine's a cute costume idea.
Mine will be shabby because I've got no money. And from me, you've already heard it. Come back next week. We're doing D&D. It's going to be fun. It's going to be Halloween. I'm going to decorate here a bit more Halloween-y. There's going to be pumpkins and shit. And I'm going to buy some like fake webs and stuff like that. And it's probably the flat is probably going to look better than I will. So yeah,
It already does.
that's it from us this week. Wish we had more time to kind of go through more of the stuff for the D&D thing, but I didn't quite count on it taking as long as it did. So we'll see you next week for Halloween.
Yep.
Bye.
Boopy whoopie. Bye.